Okay, hello everybody and welcome to the next video in the Who Is series. And as always, you're joining me today to learn more about the theme behind the spirit. And in so doing, learn more about each spirit and improve our playstyles and improve our fun and maximize our fun and enjoyment of the game, and ultimately help us become better spirits. Okay, and today we are doing start placing your bets now. Today we are going to do I have to say, this is a spirit which I sort of gravitated towards from the very beginning. There's a clue. Gravitated towards. He plays the game very differently. Okay, so that's the first thing. You've got to really understand the theme behind him in order to kind of accept the playstyle. The playstyle is very, very different, and that's the first thing. The second thing is, wow, the board can be very messy at the end of it. It really can. And it can scare your fellow spirits quite a lot if you don't plan ahead and you don't know how to pilot the spirit very well. Put it that way. Defense means something very different to this guy. And, I think I've given enough clues. This is one of my favorites. I really, really got him at the beginning, but it took a while for me to sort of really pin him down, but there are a lot of people that I've spoken to that actually they bounce off of him because they don't understand the theme behind it. Well, perhaps they do, but I think if you really get the theme, again, this is my theory, that you get the theme, you get the spirit, you love the spirit, you want to play it. It really kind of goes like that. One of the most powerful spirits in the game. Honestly, so good into so many adversaries. And obviously we're not playing with an adversary in the demo game today, but really, really powerful spirit in the game. We are, of course, talking about, I hope you've got him, I hope you put the guesses down, we are talking about none other than Stone's Unyielding Defiance. Gravitated, yeah, gravelly, I don't know. I tried to give you guys clues there. Right, okay. So, as always, we start with the sound effect that is on the digital edition. Let's see what they've done. I kind of like it. It's quite subtle, and I think that's kind of how he is, in a weird way. He's kind of subtle. He doesn't do anything himself, really. he doesn't really do much. He waits for the invaders to do things to themselves. The way I would say you have to think about him is it's like a reverse bully. Okay, it's like the counter to the bullies. He's almost like if you guys have ever played D&D or any kind of that kind of setting games where you've got the monk character who has been training for ages and ages and become just sheer stone skin and all that sort of stuff. And whatever damage you do to him, you revisit upon yourself tenfold. So he's like that. He is incredibly, incredibly resilient. He doesn't do much. He sort of allows the invaders to hit themselves. And I always imagine in my head when I play him, he's sort of whispering with this kind of smile all the time to the invaders, stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. Why are you hitting yourself? Stop hitting yourself. That's how you have to think about him. If you go into the game that way, I think you'll have a lot of fun with this guy. He does not care about blight. He basically gets rid of a particular loss condition. Okay, it doesn't bother him. It does not concern him. The loss of blight from your blight card and the loss of blight in general is a loss condition he does not need to worry about. Now, his win condition, moving from that, goes into, I think, Terror Level 2, Terror Level 3. He may not actually get rid of every single invader off the island, But he tends to win in those latter stages because he can get rid of maybe some of the buildings and the bigger buildings and stuff and win that way. So let's start with his panel and let's glean some stuff. Now, there's a lot going on here. We'll go through that in a bit, okay? There is a lot going on, but we will uncover his secrets very soon. And it's honestly so much fun. Okay, so first thing here. Some things refuse to break. I love this. I'm just going to stop here and just say, yeah. This is quite apt to him. He is basically the resilient one. The stubborn, I will not yield, I will not break. This is how you think of him, okay? Underneath the soil and sand of the island lies rock, layer upon layer, built up over the ages. Some stones weather quickly once exposed to the elements, while others are sterner and harder. Stone's Unyielding Defiance is a spirit of that stone, which resists being shattered, moved, or shaped to the will of another. Very true. We'll go back over this in a bit. It is capable of tremendous feats of resilience and obstinacy, particularly when confronted head-on in a belligerent fashion. It's not unfriendly to other spirits or the Dahan, but it works with them on its own terms. Okay, there's a lot to piece out here. So first of all, piece apart, sorry. Some stones weather quickly once exposed. I think that's just kind of referring to other spirits. I think this is his way of being like, yeah, there are other ones that are a bit weaker, but that's not me. I'm sterner. I'm harder. This guy is basically, he's unwilling to bend, to be battered, to be destroyed. Which means it's a hint as to how strong and resilient he is in the face of damage being done to him, and of course what we mean by that is to his presence. It's difficult to get rid of his presence from the land. That is doubled up here with tremendous feats of resiliency and obstinacy. This is what he does. He's resilient in the face of damage, and he won't lose his presence as easily as others. Now, what you don't see, and this is why he works with, he's not unfriendly and he works with spirits, but he works with them in his own terms. On his own terms is a hint to one of his special rules where when spirits are in his land, they also might not lose their presence. And I use might because I'll explain that later. So he works with them on his own terms. He says, look, I'll help you, but not in the way that you expect. Okay, I'm going to not let you be killed because I'm going to teach you how to be more resilient than you thought was possible. He does this with the Dahan. One of his cards enables him to do this. Other ones will enable him to kind of help a little bit, but he doesn't. He's actually trying not to keep the Dahan alive in the traditional way, and we'll get onto that in a bit. But this is the key thing here, particularly when confronted head-on in a belligerent fashion. He wants to be confronted. He's kind of looking for a fight, not in the kind of aggressive way, but actually in a sort of very, okay, hit me, I won't hit you back, you will hit yourself. You punch me, you'll break your arm. Stop hitting yourself, bro. Stop hitting yourself. He's in that fashion. I love him. Starting position is, okay, 2 presents on your starting board, lowest numbered mountains without Dahan, kind of showing you, look, I don't need the Dahan, okay? I kind of don't want the Dahan, but I'm not angry towards them, like Keeper of the Forbidden Wilds perhaps may have been, but I'm going to use you, I'm going to teach you tricks, but I don't really need you too much. And one in an adjacent land that has blight, if possible, or sands, if not. Now this is key. This is kind of telling you a little bit about has blight. Why would you want to go into a land which has blight? Is that a negative? Is that a positive? And this is the question, okay? He kind of uses blight, but in a very unique way, okay? I'll leave you to read this yourself. Now, in terms of the complexity, I think moderate is fair. I don't think he's a high complexity. I certainly don't think he's a low complexity, but I think moderate is pretty fair. I think even for beginners, I think if you pick him up, you can get to grips with him quite well once you understand his theme and what he's trying to do, and you understand kind of his special rules as a result of that, okay? Summary of powers, I think, is pretty much spot on. Offense and defense, that is him. offense and defense. He has little to no control or utility. If he did, he'd be totally busted, which is something we're going to talk about when we talk about drafting cards. Okay, his fear is really low. He doesn't generate any fear really at all. But yes, offense and defense. But it's almost a offense through a defense. The defense is probably one of the most unique defenses in the game. This is not your traditional defense. This is not I protect a land with a shield. I put a barrier up and damage will not be done. This is not even I will stop the land from growing and building and therefore no damage is being done, or I will remove blight from said land. No. This is the blight that gets added. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, guys. I've got it sorted. Kind of. And the blight that gets added, don't worry about it. We're going to be so resilient. The spirits, the presence of the spirits will not be removed. And finally, a defense such that it sort of like goes hand in hand with the offense. The defense, the actual attack that's being done, and the defense that you would normally put into it actually turns into the offense that he's going to be doing to the enemies. We'll explain this a little bit more as we turn the thing around, okay? So the spirit panel turns around. What is going on here, okay? Let's start, as always, with the growth options. He is a pick one spirit, and he has some very weird and interesting options. Let's start from the right and work our way across. You can add one presence at a range of 1 away, and you gain a power card. Pretty good, pretty standard, pretty decent. I do use this option relatively quite a lot. Second option, you can add a presence 2 away to any land type, and instead you gain 3 energy, not a power card. Okay, that's also pretty good. If these two were on a lot of different spirits, you'd be pretty happy with this. And then he's got this weird one. On a reclaim, you can also place a presence, but only into a mountain or where you already have presence. So this is a restricted presence placement, but at the longest distance, 3 away. So if you're in a multiplayer setting, this is quite helpful to go into multiple different mountains. But on a solo board, this is also a bit weird because you can only add it to where you've already got presence or a mountain. Since you start in a mountain, and wherever there is blight or where there is a sands, you're only going to be adding into the sands or the mountain. So you're restricted already if you just chose this. You also reclaim all your cards and you gain 2 earth elements this turn. This is very unique. You don't see this in any other growth phases of any of the spirits. Certainly not any that I can quickly think of right now. But yeah, this is very, very unique. Okay. What's also unique is his presence track. So normally, you have top presence track is the energy per turn that you're generating, and it takes a while. You might have some elements and so on. The bottom track are your card plays, and you'll get some elements maybe or whatever else. Here, the bottom track, you're maxing out at 2 card plays, but look how much earth element you're getting. Earth, 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 and an any, which can be an earth again, and an earth. Wow, that's a lot of earth. You've probably seen the innate powers a little bit. He needs his earth, okay? The top track, incredibly unique. There is no spirit like this on the boards in the game so far like this. He combines the energy and the card plays in one's presence track. Unbelievably powerful, okay? When I started playing, I will admit I was playing on the bottom track because I wanted to get as many earth as possible because it was so unique. When I play now, I play top track. I do also play bottom track occasionally, and you can play both. This is the brilliance of the spirit. You really can play both, and you can play just playing one card, but generating a lot of earth. It's really fun. It's a very different play style to the top track. Both are brilliant, and they really, really work. Top track, you get energy. You also get 1 extra card play per turn. And you get energy, and a card play, and energy, and a card play. So if you max out the top track, you are getting 6 energy. You are playing 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. That is very respectable. What is all this weird kind of like fart gas or whatever the hell it is? Well, this is explained in his special rules, which we'll go to now. Okay, so we'll go there now. we'll start with that one. Deep layers exposed to the surface. The first time you uncover each of your +1 card plays, which are these ones, okay, you gain a minor power, and these are marked with this weird fart thing, okay? So you gain a minor power, and it's a way to say, right, okay, we're amplifying your card plays, and we're giving you new cards to play rather than you have to go through the growth option. It's very unique. Now, very importantly, it says the first time you uncover each of your +1 card plays. So if any time you could put presence back on the presence track and you uncover it again, you don't get another minor power. It's the first time. Okay. The other special rule is incredibly, incredibly important for Stone's Unyielding Defiance. Bestow the endurance of bedrock. So this is what you can do for yourself and for other spirits. When blight is added to one of your lands, unless the blight then outnumbers your presence, it does not cascade or destroy presence, yours or others. This is like an ultimate defense in a really weird way. The blight itself that is added from the card, okay, the blight that is added to the board, in this instance, it will not destroy your presence. If it's the first blight added, you will not destroy your presence or anyone else's presence of the fellow spirits that are in that land. However, if you already have a blight in there and only one presence, the moment you add another presence, now that has outnumbered your presence in there. The blight's outnumbered it 2-1, so it does now destroy presence and it will cascade. The first time you do it, it will not cascade. So as long as you have more presence in the land or equal to the same amount after the blight is added, it doesn't cascade and it doesn't destroy presence. Unbelievable. Just changes the rules of the game. Completely changes the rules of the game. So if there's ever a situation where a land is going to be blighted and, oh gosh, your fellow spirits that you're playing with in a multiplayer setting are about to have their presence removed, they haven't planned properly, you, as Stone's Unyielding Defiance, can say, don't worry, bros, I've got you. You jump into that land and you save everybody. Incredible. However, this does make you maybe start thinking, all right, but fine, but if you're adding blight to the land, you're adding blight from the blight cards, therefore you're still depleting your lost condition, getting a blighted island, and ultimately you will lose because you'll run out of blight. Well, this is where his amazing innate power comes in. The first one is hold the island fast with a bulwark of will. I love these names. When blight is added, this is for 2 mountain. Look across the innates, by the way, quickly. Glance across. Mountain, 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 mountain. But they're all mountain. Hence why you need all these earth options. Sorry, I keep saying mountain because I see mountain. It's earth. Of course it's earth. All of these earth elements necessary. That's why you've got all this earth here, okay, on your tracks. And 2 earth on your growth option. When you have 2 earth, when blight is added to one of your lands, you may pay 2 energy per blight added to take it from the box. Now, remember, this is you target yourself added to one of your lands. This can target as many lands as it needs to. It's not targeting one land, it's any land that blight is added to. At any time, any point, events, your powers, anything at all when blight is added. That's all it's saying. Not through powers, not through ravage. If a power card says add blight, you can do it there and then, okay? You pay 2 energy and you take the blight from the box, which means you take it from not the blight card, but you take it from this sort of infinite supply of blight that is not really in the game. So it's like magic blight. So you're not actually depleting the amount of blight on the card. So you're not going into that lost condition. If it cascades at any point, you handle that separately. So you're always paying 2 energy. So need a lot of energy to do this, but if you do, you can save a lot of areas, a lot of problems. If you generate 4 earth, that cost is reduced to 1 energy instead of 2, which is very significant. And finally, this is a bit of a weird one, but actually really comes into play more than you think. At 6 earth and 1 plant, when an event or a blight card directly destroys presence. Let me repeat that. When an event or a blight card directly destroys presence. Directly destroys means not by adding blight. So if it just says destroy the presence, so there's just a command, destroy presence, and it's from the event or a blight card, you may instead prevent any number of presents being destroyed by paying 1 energy each. Okay? So if you have a blight card which says at the beginning of the invader phase or whatever, each spirit destroys 1 presence, and you're a blighted island, you now can turn around and say, nah, if you have generated this, you're preparing for that because you know it's coming up. And now you can stop that from ever actually depleting the amount of presence on the board of your fellow spirit and yourself by just paying energy. You can get a lot of energy with this guy. You can be fed energy by your colleagues, etc. Okay? It's a bit situational. Sometimes in the event you don't know when it's going to come up. But if it ever is generated, you might want to aim for it if it's a blight card that's open in the blighted island. But if it's an event, you're never going to aim for it. But if it is in existence, you might be very happy if an event is flipped over and you're like, aha, I've sorted this out. You know, the ones like you have a choice, and like, for example, one of them where you can guard the land, and for every sacred site where you want to do damage, you have to pay for 3 fire or you destroy presence. Well, let's say you don't want to pay the 3 fire, or you can't pay 3 energy or whatever, then, well, here you're going to destroy presence, but nope, you're not going to, not with this guy, if you've generated this in A. This is the key. This is the really important one. This is situational and helpful and extra, okay? This is really important. This is early game and a little bit cumbersome and a little bit more energy than you're wanting or willing to pay. This is the great one, okay? So this combined with this, bestow the endurance of bedrock, you are adding blight from the infinite supply, not the blight card. It is now not depleting your loss condition. It's not making your loss condition go any faster because you still have the same amount of blight on that blight card. You're having to pay energy for it instead. This blight, if you've got more presence in that land than the blight you're about to add into it, it doesn't cascade, it doesn't destroy presence, so you have an ultimate defense, basically. The only thing it will do is if it's added because of, for example, a ravaging action, well, you're not defending the Dahan with this, so the Dahan will die. So the land will still be blighted, but with magic blight, okay? Blight not from the blight card, and it's not destroying a presence. So all the negative things that the blight does, you're saying, nah, it's not happening. We're too strong for this. Stop hitting yourself. We're too strong for this. I don't care. It doesn't matter what you do. It won't even scar me. It's fine. It's incredible. Now onto his next innate power, which is amazing as well. Let them break themselves against the stone. With 3 earth, and you'll notice these are evens and these are odds, okay? So with 3 earth, after invaders deal 1 or more damage to a target land, you only target 1 land, okay? You have to be in that land. You do a retaliatory 2 damage back. You just do 2 damage flat back. If you generate 5 earth, you also deal, not instead, also deal half of the damage the invaders did to the land, rounding down. So let's say you have a situation where you have a city, a town, and an explorer doing damage in that land. Okay? Let's say that land also has your presence and it has a Badlands. Okay? Let's say that land ravages and nothing happens. There's no defense and so on and so forth. Normally that land would take 6 damage and blight. Your presence would be removed. You'd cry. You'd end the game. Oh, maybe the last presence you've got on the game and you lose. Let's say. Okay. With this guy, Stone's Unyielding Defiance, he says, no, hold on a second. I have presence in there, so therefore it outnumbers or equals the blight when it's added on. So it's not going to remove my presence. I'm going to be on 5 earth, so I've already generated this 4 earth, so I pay 1 energy. Oh, I've got 1 energy spare. I'll take the blight from the box. No worries. So it's not even taking it from the blight card. That is sort of like magic added blight, because it's sort of just his way of saying you're just scarring yourself and me, but it's not actually damaging the land. It's fine. And then he does 6 damage. It does 6 damage to the land, and all that's happening is the land's going, oh yeah? Take this back now. It does 2 damage back, and then from that 6 there's half, which is 3, rounded down, so 3. With a Badlands, that's now 4. Now remember, the 4 is added to all of this, so there's 1 extra here. So you're doing 2 and 3 and an extra 1. They've just killed themselves off. Those invaders that damaged the land just killed themselves off. This is amazing. This is one of the most satisfying feelings you can get in this game. You're not doing anything, but you're watching the invaders kill themselves, and you're like, you dumb idiots. Come on then. Go on, do it. Watch what happens. It's so satisfying. And then at 7 Earth, which is very difficult to get, true, and 2 Sun, this is the extra, you can repeat this power. So you can repeat this entire thing. And remember, repeating means you start from scratch. So it's like you're doing it for the first time. You're targeting a land. So you can choose the same land or another land that you're in. And again, damage dealt, blah, blah, blah. So you are repeating this power, but you're repeating this power in that land again. So you will do that amount of damage again to whatever's in that land. It honestly, unbelievable ability. Or you can repeat this in a different land. So 2 lands ravaged, let's say 2 mountain lands ravaged. You've got 7 Earth and 2 Sun. You take 2 blight out of the magic box for 2 energy. You don't. You've got presence in both lands and no blight. None of your presence dies, and everything in both lands, if it's in that setup, if it's a Badlands and Badlands, and there's 1 explorer, 1 town, and 1 city in there, they kill themselves off just with this innate. And with this innate. Unbelievable. This is how you're going to be playing this guy. Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. Why are you hitting yourself? You're doing this to yourself, man. This is the exact theme you're trying to generate when you play this guy. Got interesting and odd starter cards, but very helpful as well. Okay, so first one is brilliant. It's his only fast card. It's Stubborn Solidity. It's basically his way of imparting his power onto the Dahan for this turn. He makes them stubbornly solid. So the Dahan will do 1 defense per Dahan, but the Dahan in the target land cannot be changed. Basically, this could read as invulnerable, but it also means that they can't be removed, they can't be replaced, they can't be moved, they can't be destroyed outright, and they can't be damaged. Nothing at all can happen to them. Nothing. They just stay there. They're stalwart. They stay there. Okay? They are immovable as the bedrock of the foundation of the earth, let's say. However, they do generate defense. That defense, this is a weird thing with this spirit. Any defense generated in a land that is ravaging actually takes the damage off from the invaders that they're doing to the land. So if you're banking on that damage to go through, so you can start the process of dealing damage back, and how much damage is done, half of it is done back. Well, you have to take into account a defense that will mitigate that will counteract that. So for example, you have 8 damage coming in, and you're planning to do 4 damage back and 2, so kill 6 health off. If you're defending that land for 4, well, you're only actually doing 2 damage. So you're only actually going to generate this top ability, and which will do 2 damage, and this one, which will be 1 damage back. So you're actually only doing 3 damage back, just by defending for 3, or whatever I said. I can't remember what I said. Defending for 4 on 6 damage being done. So 2 damage goes through. That's 1 damage that's going through or more. So 2 damage is being done back to the invaders, and then 1 damage from the 2 that is going through, because it's half, goes back onto them as well. So you have to be careful about defending lands that you want the invaders to kill themselves on. Next one. Jagged Shards Push from the Earth. A slow power, 0, and it's got a Earth. Okay? Add a Badlands. Remember how I was talking about Badlands? This is why. Because he can add Badlands. He pushes up to 2 Dahan as well. Kind of like, look, I don't need you guys. Go somewhere else. Next slow power. 2 energy. Plows shatter on rocky ground. Again, Earth. 1 damage to each town and city, or push up to 1 town, or you just outright destroy one town. If you have a bad land, you could technically kill a town and do chip damage to every other big city and see what happens, right? Really quite awesome, but also one that I tend to, just because of his cards and the way he plays, you kind of don't need this card in his hand. So if you're ever going to forget a card, I forget this one. And the reason I mention that is because I'm going to demonstrate a playstyle where I will get a major power quite quickly on. Now, interestingly, I started to play this guy in multiple different ways, but once I started to figure out going to the top track, I decided, I want to gain a major power at this point. And I found that it's actually a strategy, and other amazing players, Red Revenge I can think of, another great YouTuber, he's demonstrated this on his channel. I'm sure loads of others are aware of it as well. And I had no idea that this was like a actual standard strategy or a cool kind of strategy. But it just goes to show how you can play this game all over the place, different sides of the globe, and actually over time, probably you'll develop or find these little things out as well, these little cute gems. And there's probably loads of things that I haven't found out that maybe are still meant to be found out. It's brilliant. And finally here, Scarred and Stony Land. Again, an earth, 2 damage from a sacred site, but you can't have to target a blighted land. So this is one of those ones where you kind of want the blight there. But if you have an ability to remove blight, that's also kind of cool, because then you're removing blight that's being added on, and you are putting it onto the blighted card. So therefore you're building a bigger supply pile in the blighted card, and therefore you'll never lose that due to the loss condition, and you'll never become a blighted island. However, this card has a very cool inbuilt mechanic. You do 2 damage, you add a Badlands, so you do the 2 damage first before the Badlands, but then you remove 1 blight, but it actually goes to the box, not to the blight card. So if in his starting hand he had the ability to actually remove the blight in the way that I said just there, it would be kind of busted, because you'd basically grow an infinite pile of blight on your blighted island card, and you would never worry about becoming a blighted island, and that loss condition would just go. Now, it kind of already goes anyway, this guy, but there's a little bit of, okay, you've got to prepare for it and so on. So what can we get from this? I think we've said it all pretty much. He is definitely sort of I look at him almost like the Rocky spirit, but there are other spirits that are kind of like Rocky, so I'm careful not to say that quite like just for this guy. But Rocky and certainly in the first movie, Rocky is all about just surviving, right? Just taking the hits and surviving. Now, he doesn't outright win that way, but he doesn't die off. And actually, Apollo Creed basically fatigues himself, and the match is a draw. Now, okay, Apollo ends up winning in the complexity settings and so on, but then new rematch is done, blah, blah, blah. Rocky 2 spawns, and so all the Rockies are done, and they're amazing. My favorite, personally, is Rocky 3, because for reasons, but there you go. That's what I'm babbling. But my point is, he's like as I said at the beginning, like the counter bully. Bullies will go up and go, like, come on then, I'll punch you and I'll hit you, and they scare you. He's sort of like, all right, I'll be the guy that if you come and punch and stuff, you'll actually be just hitting yourself. As I said, when I play him, I always think, stop hitting yourself. Stop. Why are you hitting yourself? Stop hitting yourself. Why are you hitting yourself? And laughing the entire time. That's the kind of feeling that you should be evoking from yourself. That's the kind of spirit within a spirit, okay, that you need to be kind of generating. So, okay, let's give this a go, and let's play him out. Now, I will mention that he is kind of, you do want to draft cards with him, because you do want to get mountain earth cards, but you also notice on his starting cards, he only has 1 sun. So in order to generate this power, you need a sun. One of your best cards, I don't know if we're going to get it this game. If we do, oh, so great. But one of your best cards you can get is, I can't remember the name of it now. It's like Gift of Constancy, I think it's called. It's literally one that gives you energy. You can pull back a card after you've used it, and it's a sun and earth. It's like the perfect card. So let's see what we get, okay? And we'll talk about strengths and weaknesses later. Now, where to focus him on? Very, very interestingly, he is actually, even though he's got all of these slow cards and only one fast, he is actually, well, you can kind of see it here with his innates. He is in the fast phase. He's thinking very much in the fast phase. And as fast phases go, they tend to focus, not always, but they tend to focus on either the ravage or the build phase of the invader. In this case, actually, because he does so much of the damage that he wants to generate back to the invaders that they are doing to the land, he's actually more focused in the ravage phase of the invaders, which is really quite unique. There's a lot of spirits that are trying to maybe counterattack in the ravage phase and setting up in the build phase. He's sort of focusing on the ravage section and thinking in the build section where it's going to ravage next and kind of preparing for the ravage. Okay, so if you like that idea of just going fast and focusing on the ravage bits, this is the guy for you. Okay, again, he plays very, very differently, so you have to kind of think very differently than what you would normally think in this game about defense, about damage, about blight, about how blight interacts with the presence and other things, and also actually about Dahan, because you kind of want to keep them around, but you almost also kind of don't care if they stay or they don't. If you generate defense cards, then you might want to use them a bit more, but you don't even need defense cards that much. So you can't necessarily just win with this, so sometimes you do want to do outright damage, and sometimes you do want to defend and use the Dahan, so there's a little bit of interplay there. But anyway, let's get on, and we'll talk about at the end the strengths and weaknesses. In terms of a win condition, again, you're kind of focusing, I think, on terror level 2 or 3. All right, that's sort of where we're going to go. So let's see what board we get. C, I don't know if that's any good, and Stone's Unyielding Defiance. Let's go. So he's going to go in the mountain, and he's going to go in the blighted land, and if there isn't a blighted land, then he goes to the sands, okay? So they're going to be growing into the wetlands. So, interesting decision already. I already have a blight added here. If I allow this to ravage, okay, then I am going to, if I don't add any more presence here, I'm going to have a blight that is outpacing and outnumbering my presence. So it will destroy my presence. However, I do have a defense card, so I already have Dahan in there. I could defend for 2, so only 1 damage goes through, and then the Dahan will fight back. Now, hopefully no extra damage is done, and we'll be safe. This is my thinking already, which means I'm already focusing here. So if I'm focusing my thoughts here, I kind of want to just get a presence in there and let them do damage to themselves. Will I be able to generate enough earth early on in the game for them to hurt themselves back? Probably not. But at the very least, I'll be able to generate enough earth to stop the blight from being added from the blight card, and then maybe target that land with this, for example, card to do damage to a blighted land. Something along that lines, okay? So that's what we're thinking. Now we do have a way to move a town, so I could focus that here, and we have a Badlands as well that we could add in. So multiple different things to think about. Let's go, okay? So I'm probably going to pick a power card. I'm not going to reclaim because I don't want to reclaim, although it would generate 2 mountain. I'm going to reclaim this. Now, my goal, I'm going to play this card. My goal initially, I think, is going to be to place my presence in areas where I wouldn't be able to reach because I can get into mountain anytime and I can get into places where I have presence. So I'm trying to avoid the mountains. Unfortunately, we've not started in mountains. That's sometimes a bit of a negative if you start in a mountain. So I'm going to expand to different areas. Now, it just so happens I can add presence to this land on this turn, and I will. I'll add that because I want to be there anyway. So I'll go off the top track, and I will gain a power card. Now, let's see. Gift us constancy. Let's see what I pick up. Stone is what I want. Stone, mountain, earth, however you want to phrase it. Oh! Okay, so great card. Okay, great card because it's a defense card. Do we want it? Do we want it? Is it better to go with this? Is it better to go with this? So this is a defense card, and this is the question you've got to ask yourself. Do you want to defend lands? Because if you want to defend lands, the damage that they're going to be doing is not going to be sufficient for them to do damage back to themselves. If you don't defend lands, especially at the beginning of the game, well, you'll be taking the damage and then you'll have to have the energy for the blight, la la la. Here, this is a very cool card because this is one where I can add a blight if I have 2 fire. I do have a fire card. I don't plan to necessarily get rid of it. And I can do damage to towns and cities and they won't heal at the end of the turn. So I can basically whittle them down and then eventually they'll kill themselves off. So that could be quite a nice little play. Maybe I take this one. This is also really cool because if the target land has a Badlands, I do a damage and then I add Badlands, but it's only targeting mountain and sands. So because this is a bit restricted, I kind of like the option between these two. I'm not even considering this mostly because it doesn't have an earth, okay? I really like this one because it is the get out of jail free card and it also does damage to all of the towns and cities. This does fear and adds Badlands. I kind of like that too because I do want to add Badlands to my areas to do more damage. I'm torn between the two. I'm going to go with this one. Okay, I'm going to go with this one. And the first turn I can play only one card. Only one card. So the one card that I want to play, and I will be able to play 2 cards the next turn, so don't worry. But the one card that I want to play, remember this needs Sacred Sites. The one card that I want to play is probably this, because I'm going to add a Badlands and I can push up to 2 to harm. Now, I'm probably going to add the Badlands in this land here, or I could actually play this card and move this. I could move this town. Now, the reason that I might want to do that is because I could potentially set up a situation where I could create what's called a pocket. So if I could deal damage to this land enough so that it kills itself off, then I am left with only this area here having any sort of towns or cities of any note, because this will die and this will kill itself off. And if I can manage to kill this off, well, then I don't need to worry about expansion out here because they can only explore from the coastal lands or a place where there's a city or a town. So that's an option, but it does cost me 2 energy, and I'm a little bit energy starved at the beginning of the game. So I'm actually just probably going to go with this, but then I can't generate this. Ooh. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with this. I'm going to set it up in such a way that I'll put a Badlands on, and then maybe I'll do a damage and kill it off anyway. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Okay. So that's my one card, and I finish the play. So let's see what happens. They're going to build here, but we know that already. Okay. And then they're going to explore into jungles. Okay. Maybe the beast will do something the following turn and kill one of these guys off. Maybe it won't. Again, we're not even thinking about build phases right now. We're just thinking now about this and this, okay? So Badlands is going to go here because I don't want to push this off, okay? And then I'm going to play another card from here, and now I'll have 2 card plays, and I'll gain this... with the 2 card plays, I'll be able to pay 2 energy, okay? I won't be able to do damage back, but I have a plan, so let's see if it works. Okay, so I'm going to do a card play and I'm going to gain another, hopefully. Oh, there we go. Oh my gosh, what did I say about Gift of Constancy? It's a snap pick. I don't care what else comes up. The fact that this came up is pretty cool, but this absolutely, sun and earth, we are sorted for the end game now. Okay, it also gives us energy. We can reclaim a card. I mean, this is amazing, right? We can also give it in a multiplayer game. You can give this out to people for energy. I mean, this is just a brilliant pickup. Okay, now we're going to add presence. Now, where are we going to add it? So again, we want to go into lands where there's going to be a problem. We suspect this may be a problem. We suspect this could be a problem. We're thinking that maybe, just maybe, this is going to kill it off for us as a beast in the event. Maybe it won't. So let's go here. Now, if I went top track, you see, maybe I should have actually not taken. Now, you see, I was thinking actually I was going to go with minor there, but I got tunnel visioned. I probably should have gone major there because I could afford it, and because that's what I usually do. I usually go major when I choose the power card there, and I get rid of plows. But as it is, I haven't done that, so maybe I'll get a major the next turn. So let's see what happens, okay? So I'm going to play this into here, but I'm going to gain a minor. Now it's telling me confirm. Yes, I'm going to confirm that, and I gain a minor. Let's see what I gain. Another earth, another sun. Fantastic. Okay, now this is again from a sacred site. Okay, fine, whatever. But I'm looking earth, I'm seeing earth, I like it. Now you can go for other cards, of course you can. But I'm just going to go pure earth, okay? Pure earth and sun. And that's just the way I like to personally play, okay? So we're going to play something to defend here. So great. So we're going to play Stubborn Solidity. This is going to defend this land and hopefully kill these guys off, okay? As long as they don't increase their damage being done or whatever, okay? Because I'm doing 2 defense on that land. And I also said I want to maybe kill this off. So I intend to do that by... I could do it directly there and kill that off there. I could do 2 damage and kill everything in that land. And then remove that blight. But that's from a sacred site, so I can't target this one. I'm really tempted to use constancy, and I think I will. So I'm actually not going to do what I was going to do. Okay, I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to gain 2 energy, and I'm going to pull this card probably back, or maybe the gift back as well for next turn. So there we go. Now you'll notice it's all in the fast phase. I've triggered my left innate such that I can pay 2 energy, and I'm going to do that. Okay, and I'm going to use it here. Okay, now Gift of Constancy is going to be used on myself. There's 2 energy. And Stubborn Solidity I'm going to use here. Okay, there we go. Oh my goodness. So I could have had problems, but it's only the city. So the city does +2 damage. Okay. Fortunately, there are no cities there. For you. Okay. Next one, add 1 disease, ignore disease during builds this invader phase. Okay, fine. So we're going to add a disease to... Where do we want them to be restricted? They're going to build here and here. Unfortunately, I didn't get the beast kill card. Well, let's put it there. So they won't build again there, okay? And then 1 fear per land with invaders where Dahan outnumber towns and cities. So there will be 1. There will be 1. And that's it. So I'll get 2 fear. Fantastic. So they're going to ravage in the wetlands. They're going to kill that off. Fantastic. You see how nothing happened. Normally, one of these would be flipped over, but nothing can happen to these guys, okay? Now it's asking me, do you want to pay 2 energy to do the effect, hold the island fast with a bulwark of steel? Yes, I do. Now notice, the blight would normally be added from here. This would go to 2. And normally, I would lose presence, but I'm not going to lose presence because of my bestow the endurance of bedrock. And this will not drop down from 3 because I'll be adding it from the box, the infinite supply. So I'm going to pay 2 energy. Doesn't drop. I don't use my presence. Sorted. Yeah? Now these build. And now we're going into here. So you see the board is starting to get a little bit messy. We kind of don't care. All right? Now, which one of these do I want to pull back? If I pull back this, I can do a defense of 1. Well, that's not going to be enough, but I do save the Dahan. Okay? So that could be quite helpful. Here, maybe not so much. So I'm actually going to pull this back because I've got enough energy and I can play this another turn. Okay, so I'm going to pull this guy back. Boom. Now I'm going to, yet again, play a power card. Now, I could go for the reclaim option, gain 2 earth. I'm playing 2 cards with 2 earth. I could then go to the 4th option, but I'm not going to do that until I get to the 2nd card play, okay? So the 3rd card play, because then you'll see I'll be generating so much mountain that then I'm in business, okay? So I'm going to actually get a major power card now. So let's see what I just draw from major powers. Oh, look, mountain, or earth. I'll keep saying mountain, but you know what I mean. Okay, add a Badlands, push all Dahan. 1 damage to each invader if the origin land is your sacred site. Plus 1 damage to each invader. Oh, sorry. 1 damage to each invader if the origin land is your sacred site, +1 to each invader. So incredibly powerful. Basically can kill a land. How about this one? 6 fear, 20 damage, destroy all Dahan and beasts, add 1 blight. So look, 8 cost, destroy all invaders, add 1 wild. In each adjacent land, 10 damage, destroy all Dahan and beasts. If there are no blight, add 1 blight. Okay. Now again, we don't really care about blight because we can take it off from infinite supply. Are we going to be generating 4 fire? Well, we don't have that many fire. We have, with this card, we have 1 fire, we have 2 fire. So we don't even have it enough yet to generate it, but we don't have the energy yet. So we need 4 fire and 3 earth. That won't be a problem. Here we have 3 fire, 2 sun, and 3 mountain. It's a lot cheaper, and it kind of does similar effect. It's in the slow phase, and it's half the price. I think I prefer this one. This is pretty cool, though, I have to say. This is pretty cool. I've not used this in this game, so maybe I should use this for this purposes, but it's going to be hard for me to play it, so I'm going to go with this one. Okay. Now I have to forget one, and as I said, I often forget plows. I don't think you need it in this game, especially since it's 1 damage to each, and this is kind of doing 1 damage to each anyway. So, and that's each invader, and this is just towns and cities. So, yeah, see you later. And I've still got my mountain, and it generates everything else I need, including the plant, right? So it's basically a brilliant card for me. Okay, Forests of Living Obsidian, and it kind of rings true of, you know, the forests themselves now are becoming so resilient that they're living obsidian. I mean, I kind of like the card. It makes sense. Now, this I can target in a land where I have a sacred site. Fine, no problem. So I can do damage back. Now, I'm going to be wanting to kill off things. This is going to ravage in the slow phase. Let me think about where I'd like to put my... Well, okay, this will build, but nothing major. Okay, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to put my card in my presence into here, because I will put another one into there for following turn, and then I'll be able to use forests into that land. Okay. Now they're going to ravage. Oh! No! Sorry, I can't do that. I just realized I need to go into here because I don't want blight to be added from the card. Okay. Now I could forego this. I could, but kind of don't want to. Actually, oh, maybe I should. Maybe I shouldn't bother too much. No. I like what I had in mind, but no, I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to. Ooh, tricky. So I kind of need to be in this land and this land for the following turn as well. So do I actually want blight to just come from my blighted card here? Yeah, fine. I'll just take it. And I'll put it into this land. Okay, fine. Now I've got 9 energy. I could just kill that land off now and not have an issue. Add 1 damage to each invader. Could add Badlands. These are from sacred sites. They're all from sacred sites, so actually none of them work for me right now. So that's interesting. I mean, okay, I'm going to reclaim anyway. Alright, I'll play these 2. I can only play 2 cards, so there we go. That's what I'll do. So this guy will go here, so this Dahan doesn't die. This will be on myself, and let's go. After the first successful build action, add 1 explorer to an adjacent land without invaders. Fine. Push up to 2 explorers or 1 town from a land with a beast. Oh, fantastic. So actually solves that land for me. Fantastic. So I'm going to push 1 town from here. I'm going to put it into... Yeah, put it into there. No, I'll put it into there because I'm going to do damage in that land, right? And I'm going to kill that off. Or am I going to kill this off? Which one am I going to focus on? So I go into there, it's not going to build, I can do damage back to it, I can do some good stuff. I could kill this off entirely. This is going to do damage to itself. Fine, let's put it there. Okay. 2 fear per land with towns and with cities in Dahan. Oh, well, I don't have that. Okay, fine. So, pay 2 energy. Okay, and it's going to do 2 damage. Boom, boom. Because 1 went through... no, so the Dahan is doing damage, and this does nothing now. Great. Click a land to build on. Alright, I forgot what it said here. So, after the first successful build action, add 1 explorer to an adjacent land without invaders. Okay, so... If I do here, it will build. It will go there. If I do here, it will go there. After the first successful, so it will go there. Okay, fine. Yep, so it'll go there. Okay. Mountains. Okay. So it's looking a bit nasty, yeah? But don't worry. They're going to start hitting themselves in a moment. They're going to start hitting themselves. Okay, so here basically we can do 1 damage to each invader, and the origin land is... So here we can just basically kill everything off in this land. I think I don't do anything else. Yeah, okay, so... Great, so I just killed everything there. Okay. So now we're going to add presence and we're going to do this reclaim option. Okay. And now we're going to add presence into lands that we're already in. So this is going to be a problem. Okay. But we're just going to let it be. Who cares? Just going to let it be. This is going to be a problem as well. But we can add presence to that land eventually. Okay. So we're going to choose this. We're going to get 2 extra earth. We're going to play a card into, and I can't play it into there. I can put it into my mountains, or I can put it into any land I already have presence. I kind of want to... Let's put it in there. Confirm. Minor. Okay, so my minor option is... Oh yes. I can remove presence. I can remove blight. Perfect. You can see I'm just looking for earth cards, right? Now I've got 2 mountain already, and I can play 3 cards. So I'm going to be generating this level where they're going to be hitting themselves back. Okay, so I'm going to want to... if I had a Badlands, great. I don't have a Badlands. Now this is going to generate a blight, but I want to remove that blight, so I'll play this one for sure. This could do some decent damage as well, but it's 4 energy. I don't really want to play that yet. This one gives me energy, so I'm definitely going to play that. This one, gather up to 2 Dahan, and they have 2 health while in the target land. Okay, they have plus 2 health, so I could target that there. And that could kill that off. Great. Okay, so I'm using that. And that's my power. Okay, so I've generated the 4 earth here, and I've generated the 5 there. So my plan is to draw the Dahan here. I think it will work. I'm pretty sure. And then pull one of these blights off the land. Okay, so here we go. Let's see if this works. So I target myself. Then I'm going to target a land that I want them to do damage back to. This one right here. I'm also going to do Gift of Constancy on myself and gain 2 energy. And I'm going to target this here. And I'm going to draw this Dahan into here. Now each Dahan has 2 health. Okay. More. So it's 4. This only does 3 damage. So the Dahan will not die. The Blight will be added to the land. But I will remove that Blight. So, well, that's the theory. Okay. And yeah, that is that. And that will die off. And do I need to remove any more Dahan? No, I'm going to keep that where it is. And we are done. Am I going to maybe, what if they do more damage? Then they can kill off one of the Dahan. Shall I just pull another one in just in case? Just in case. Yeah, just in case. Okay. So, exactly 1 coastal city, add 1 town to a coastal land without. Okay, fine. So you're going to add it... tell you what, let's add it here. No, let's add it... Yeah, let's add it there. Let's add it there, because we're going to be able to like do some damage to this eventually. Towns with disease or strife don't ravage. On each board, choose a land with town and a city. Town and a Dahan. Push 1 town per 2. Excellent. So we can push this into here. Let's push this into here. So that's going to do 8 damage now. So 4 damage back. So it's going to kill off even more stuff. So I'm going to do killing off of 6 things here. Or 6. I'm going to do 6 damage killing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So only the town will be left. That's pretty cool. Okay. Push 1 town or thing from a land with Dahan. Okay. So I don't want to push this in here because this is going to kill one of the Dahan. From a land with Badlands, Wilds, or Dahan. So what I could do is I'll push this one into here, and it will kill itself off. So they're going to ravage. Now, we're going to pay 1 energy this time, because I generated that level. Goes there, and now we're going to do 6 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they stop hitting yourself, man. They killed themselves off. It's blooming hilarious. Here they kill themselves off as well. Okay, and because I saved the Dahan there. This is going to build, and they're going to explore into the jungles. Okay, fine. All right. But it's getting a bit easier. It's getting less messy. Now, we're going to absorb the corruption, and we're going to... So, hold on, let's see. What does it say? Gather 1 or pay 1 energy to remove. So I'm just going to pay 1 energy to remove from here, because this is what's going to ravage in a turn or 2. So I'll just remove that and not... be a problem. There you go. So I've removed that and added it to here. So whatever was added there is now back here, back to 3. Now I'm going to pull back something. Now what should I pull back? Now the question is, what's the ultimate goal here? So we're going to be ravaging here. We can do Dahan Stubborn Solidity and kill that off. Here it needs to die off themselves. So what else do I need? I could absorb essence again, or absorb corruption. I like the idea of just putting back the gift of constancy, because now I can continue to give myself a gift of constancy. And yet again, what are we going to do? So now we're going to ravage in this land and this land. We've got presence here. We do not have presence there. We want to add presence into that land. So we generate this, and we can add presence into that land by doing this. We're going to get 6 energy now. Huge amount of energy, okay? And we can start to do a lot more damage. So I could kill this off, but this is going to kill itself off. And we're almost at the stage. We're still Terror level 1, by the way, right? We're getting to Terror level 2. And I did say we kind of win in Terror level 2 or Terror level 1. We could maybe generate it such that we win in Terror level 1. But I think we're so close to Terror level 2. In fact, when we kill this and we kill this, we just need to kill this off and we win. So I think if I play this card, right? Or in fact, I could play this card. I can play this card and kill this off because I do 2 damage in this land. I kill off this town. Oh, but they will be building here and they'll be building here. So if they're going to be building, I can repeat this power. Let's see if I can generate that. So this, 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 but then I can generate this. No, I can't. Okay. All right. So I can't repeat this power, but I think I will play this card. I'll do Stubborn Solidity here, and I'm going to be generating this ability down the bottom here to kill these guys off. Because it's going to do 2 damage and then 2 damage. So they're going to die. These are going to die. Then I'll be left with a town. So can I set it up in such a way... This is going to do damage here. Maybe I can move a town. Is there a way to move a town? Not quite. In which case, I might just leave it like that and just do gift again. Okay, there we go. So now we are still generating, but we're generating 5 earth. Okay, so Stubborn Solidity on this land here. Gift of Constancy on myself. And here I want to target this land here. There we go. Okay. Choose a land with a city, build there. I don't have any cities. On each board, push up to 2 explorers or 1 town from a land with... Oh, excellent. Okay, so this is now less of an issue, so I can push these into here, because it's going to be doing damage. Great. On each board, gather 1 Dahan in a land with Dahan in that land. Defend 1 per Dahan. Okay. So... well, I don't want to defend there. I'll gather here. Okay. Each player may choose a land with Dahan or adjacent to at least 5. Invaders do not ravage there this turn. Okay. Whatever. So that kills that self off. This will die. I'm going to add energy from the box and they'll kill themselves off. And we're almost there. Oh, in fact, actually, we are there because... Oh, so close, so close. I need to kill that town off. And they're going to explore in there, but they do not explore into this wetland because I've created a mini pocket. So they have nothing to explore from, no towns or cities, and we're almost at the victory condition. This is going to go and die and kill... Blah, 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 blah. Well, these are going to kill themselves off, and this is going to kill everything off here. Great. Fantastic. Done, done, done. And now I've just got this to kill off, and I'm going to pull back... Yeah, I guess Gift of Constancy again, right? I might as well. And now I think I can generate all my... I can't quite get that one. So maybe I'll get another major power card and just see if I can just blitz this out for a win. But you can see, look at the state of the game. We've added extra blight. We don't care. Look at the state of the explorers. They're in fear right now. They don't know what's going on. This is just joyous. Okay, so let's get ourselves a bit of a funsy major card. Let's see if we can pick something really cool. Here we go. 2 damage. Defend 8. In a mountain or a jungle. I can't do that one then. Fine. What about this one? Add 2 disease. For each disease in target land, defend 1 in target and all adjacent lands. Nah, that doesn't really help me. Major power. Okay, well, I'll play this one and maybe gain a major power and play it. This would be great. Plus 2 damage. +2 defend, add 1 badland. It has to be in a mountain or a jungle, unfortunately. So 1 damage to each invader. Let's go with that one. It's a bit more fun. We'll get rid of... I've never used this one. So we'll get rid of that one. And we'll add a presence to... Sure, we'll add a presence to here because I've got a... Let's see what I pick up. Hey, I can just do damage. Great, I got that one. Perfect. So I might be able to do damage here, and this, and this, and what else do I need? And 1 more mountain. Let's do this one. I suppose I could do that, 2 damage, and that will kill this off for certain. Yep. Because that will put a blight onto the board and kill that off. You notice I didn't generate this level here because I chose the card play thing. So let's see what happens, okay? So we're going to do this on here. Let them break themselves against the rock. This on myself. Gift of Constancy, and target spirit gains a major power. So let's see. Ah, cool. Okay. No mountain, but it's okay. Let's do it here. And I don't need to forget a card. On each coastal land and board, move 1 town, 1 or 2 lands inland. Oh, damn. Well, that's not what I wanted to do. That's not what I wanted to happen. Oh, man. I might be able to do some damage to it. Oh, let's just put it there. Let's just skip it now. During Ravage in every land, defend 1 per whatever. Okay. Okay. Fine. Alright, so they kill themselves off. Pay 1 energy. Let's kill themselves off. And then they build in the wetlands and they explore into the sands, which is really annoying. But I only need to focus on that now. Now, will I be able to do the damage? I'll do 2 damage and push 1 off, so it's not quite enough. Might as well do it though. And then this does 2 damage and adds Badlands. Oh, I think I've done it. Yeah, I think I've done it. So 2 damage. Yeah, 2 damage. 1, 2. I add a Badland. I remove this Blight. And then I can do this one. And then I do 1, 2, 3. And then I push this out and I win the game. So there is... just bugger off into the mountain. So there it is. There is Stone's Unyielding Defiance. He is very much... He's so much fun. I mean, towards the end, it was just kind of like, okay, this game is won. What's the best way to win it out? Whatever, let's just try and flash it up or something, you know? Such a fun spirit. Honestly, you've got to be thinking to yourself, like I said, stop hitting yourself, stop hitting yourself. And look at the board state. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blight added onto the land, and you don't care. No presence lost at all. So much bad land. I mean, what a phenomenal spirit. Brilliantly designed. But consider this, okay? Early game, there is a clear weakness. He is weaker, and you could see that you really have to be careful in how you play and what you choose and so on. Okay, the earth icons, depending on which track you can go top track, you can go bottom track. I wouldn't suggest you mix the two, but if you go bottom track, you know, you'll get more earth icons. You'll be able to do more potentially at the beginning of the game. If you go top track, you're going to be able to do less, but you've got more cards, and so there's more scope. It's a little bit more difficult at the beginning of the game. if you expanded to mountains or into presence areas already at the beginning of the game, you're going to struggle later, because that option where you reclaiming, you can only go into mountains and areas where you've got presence. So you really need to spread out. So you need to know that ahead of time. So you need to have a little bit of planning. You can kind of, you need to plan things out in the first few turns, right? And that's really important. But once you do, you are acting primarily, like you saw in the Ravage phase. I was barely looking at the build. I didn't care about where the exploration was going to happen. I was basically focused completely in the fast phase, and I was only looking at the Ravage. Now, this can be a bad thing because it's very reactionary, and if you're used to planning ahead, there's a puzzle and you're very almost reactionary. You've got to be very careful about using defense. You saw I barely used a single defense. The only defense I used that entire game was the one I was given at the very beginning to save my Dahan occasionally and to fight back. That was it. There was another defense, sort of defense, where I kept the Dahan alive a little bit, okay, but that was it. You do need energy, but you gain a lot of energy. But obviously, Gift of Constancy was incredible in that game. But you know, you gain a lot of energy despite Gift of Constancy. But you just have to work around that. But the big negative is it plays so differently. You've just got to get into the mindset. Okay, it gets a messy board, and it can scare the behemoths out of other spirits when you play with them as on your as your allies. But he is a absolute powerhouse versus a lot of invaders, like you saw. In lands where there are a lot of invaders and he's in there, oh my god, you don't need anything. They just hurt themselves back, okay? Movement and manipulation cards are actually really helpful in his deck. And as you could see, there are some cards that are just auto picks, like Gift of Constancy. He can have multiple different paths to victory, which is both a good and a bad thing, but there's two tracks. You really can go with either of those, and it leads to really varied and different playstyles, but ultimately you're still trying to generate that stop hitting yourself moment whilst also doing a little bit of extra damage, like you saw. And then towards the end game, you kind of are drafting major power cards. You can draft a major power card quite early on, actually, and you're just playing it out that way, okay? The big thing is he just basically gets rid of your blight loss condition. He really does. He if you play it right, that is not an option. That blighted island you're not going to have to worry about anymore. Not really, I don't think so. Unless you're coupled with other spirits who are adding lots of blight themselves. He's going to just sort that out for you, okay? And as I said, the win condition is terror level 2, like you saw there, sometimes terror level 3. Occasionally you can win terror level 1, right? So you're playing in the fast phase. Stop hitting yourself, invaders. You don't really care about other kind of normal plays. You do it your way. You keep the land safe in your way. And that may be very different from what you're used to. So you kind of have to change the way you think. But when you do, oh, this spirit opens up so much. And he's so powerful and so strong. Thanks for joining me for this video, guys. I'll try and keep them shorter. I really will, as short as I can. But just bear with me as we get the timings right. Listen. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you try this guy out and have a great time. Keep spiriting. Save the island. Save that Dahan if you can along the way. And good luck. And God bless. And I'll see you in the next one.